Hey YouTube, I'm Kenneth Ryan.
I'm Lindsay Reesop.
And we're back with another exciting episode of Fanfiction Friday, where we are continuing to read Clockwork. Today we're going to be reading Chapter 4, and this is probably going to be the only chapter we get through because, again...
Super long.
This person has a lot to say. KTX Replica. But yes, also, because I've been forgetting to say it, thank you to Pokey Cookie for suggesting this fic. Yeah. We are continuing to read it.
We do enjoy reading it.
It is good. It is good. Even if we make fun of it.
It's problematic at times.
Right.
But
all right.
That's kind of the characters as well.
Seriously. Okay, so, Chapter 4. When Green returned, he was relieved to see that his flat hadn't been blown up as of yet. However, he did berate Red for finishing the orange juice yet again. Red had stared at him blankly before going back to watching the television. Silver had watched the spectacle before returning to his book. It was a cheesy romance novel that he had no intentions of finishing, but seeing as he couldn't change into lighter clothing due to Gold locked up in the room, he was stuck reading a cheesy romance novel. What?
Gold locked.
I know, but what does having to change into lighter clothing have to do with him reading a romance? And okay,
he can't get into the room, so he's just reading a book.
Oh,
for whatever reason, because he totally can't do something else. I guess.
Whatever.
Who knows?
It was getting darker outside, and Green was in the kitchen peering into his tiny fridge. Eventually, the brunette came out with a spare key. With the spare key, unlocked the bedroom which Gold was holed up in, and dragged him out, protesting.
This is Green, okay. Yeah. I wasn't expecting to have to bring back more people to live with me thus, okay, there isn't enough food in the fridge, so I'm gonna order Subway sandwiches. What's your order? Ow.
We're just gonna throw out here real quick. Fanfiction Friday is not endorsed by Subway, and we're not endorsing them. This is the fic writer.
Subway.
Yeah. Anyways, continue.
Green had picked up the phone and pointed at Gold whilst They use that word so much whilst doing everything.
Because they're British.
While scrolling through the pre-entered numbers looking for the sandwich caterers. Can you order Subway over the phone?
I don't know. They do catering. Excuse me, I'm reaching for my Sunny D.
With your One Direction cup.
They endorse the show.
Yep, totally. Caterers. Gold yawned.
Biggest with everything.
Okay.
Green shot Gold an annoyed look, but Gold was actually serious,
he
shaking his head in disbelief, muttering about how disgusting this would be. Turned to Silver, who peered over the top of his book.
Chicken and tomato. Green did not even ask Red. Silver then just assumed that Green had done this before and knew what Red wanted. He knows what he wants.
Oh.
He cringed as Red switched the channel, and up came the cartoons. Pokemon was on!
This is a meta. We're Pokemon watching Pokemon.
Pokemon was on.
Ooh.
Green laughed, and Silver and Gold looked at him. Their brunette psychologist was watching the red-eyed man fondly, though. He's always loved that show. He likes Pikachu. Silver raised his eyebrows at this, and Gold sounded odd.
So that's why there's so much Pikachu memorabilia in your room.
Why is that odd?
Green sighed and nodded, having the grace to look a little bit embarrassed before going out of the living room to order the food. Silver turned to Gold.
When did you see that? Gold came over and sat down next to the two of them on the sofa, watching the screen for a while before answering. Yeah, when was he looking in their room?
When Green gave me some of his grandfather's clothes, I guess. I just saw the entire shelf dedicated to the character. The three sat in amiable silence, watching Pokemon. Silver curled up in order to make space for the two larger males sitting on either side of him. Ooh, larger. They've got bigger dicks.
Yes, threesome.
Oh, dear. He rested his chin on his knees and thought about the day. DP.
DP, yeah.
To be honest, Silver had no idea that his attempt to die had ended up in this mild enjoyment in his new flatmate's company. Of course, he knew they would butt heads every now and again, but he felt that he could somehow get along with them. Only for Green, though, because Green had only tried to help him. If Green wasn't here, Silver felt like he wouldn't have any sort of drive or purpose to continue to tolerate Red and Gold.
Nice.
He was pretty sure Gold felt the same way and was only tolerating them for their gentle psychologist.
They're Slytherin and Gryffindor. Green and Silver and Red and Gold.
Red probably didn't give a flying rat's arse, seeing as he'd been here longer. Silver was determined to hate both Red and Gold, but somehow deep down he believed he couldn't truly do it. Silver had never considered himself a depressing person.
How do you not consider yourself a depressing person?
That's a funny joke. He preferred introverted and less able to open up to strangers. I
guess.
But you can be those things along with depressing. So
yeah.
Okay, never mind. Silver wondered if his father was a different kind of person. Maybe he would have been different. He was pretty sure it was under Giovanni's tyranny that he became who he was now.
Well,
Silver hummed under his breath. He contemplated changing for the better. And with Green's help, he knew it was possible. The only issue that barred his way was the idea that did he want to? He was scared of becoming someone new when he had already came this far as who he was now. Cutting himself and attempting to die was how he reminded himself that he was still human and not the spawn of the devil / his father. Gold shifted next to him, his bright eyes watching the screen. Red grunted and wasn't twitching, seemingly incredibly absorbed in watching the Japanese cartoon. It's called anime.
Yeah.
Get on your weeaboo
I mean,
level.
it kind of is a cartoon as well.
That was a Z-snap for you. His eyes following the yellow electric mouse almost religiously. Silver turned to Gold.
Can I speak to you? Gold snorted in amusement.
I don't know, can you? Don't you mean, may I speak to you? Silver rolled his eyes. It was the same thing, really. Trust Gold to have a smart arse reply at the ready. However, Gold had been genuine as he stood up and motioned to their room. Silver followed, snorting slightly as he heard Green arguing on the phone as to why he couldn't have a large baguette with everything, Gold's order. And was even telling them that he would pay extra for it.
Biggest. He didn't say a baguette.
Closing the door behind them as not to disturb their host, Silver turned to Gold, who was busy staring at the wall. Can I turn on the sexy music?
This is you. This is Gold.
My mother was an English teacher and hated poor grammar, Gold said quietly. Silver made a small, That's why Gold corrected him earlier. The golden-eyed teen looked mildly uncomfortable having revealed that information as he waited for him to speak. Silver paused, thinking carefully about what he wanted to say.
I'm sorry if my first impression was... ... Silver cast about for the right word. Gold helped him.
Depressing. Silver frowned slightly and then nodded sharply. Gold looked a little abashed, and Silver noticed Gold's voice always took on a kind of gruff, deep tone whenever he was saying something against his will or something that he found difficult to say. I guess I'm sorry, too. You're just weird, and it's weird for me. I was just angry. Also, we're gay, and we're gonna have the gay.
We're gonna be of the gay.
That's not part of
the No, it's not.
Oh, sorry. Silver nodded, understanding that Gold wasn't entirely ready to be friendly yet. He was still weary of becoming close to people, as if he became friends, they might be snatched away from him in the blink of an eye. Silver understood how he felt, seeing as he disliked attention and all. Silver decided whilst Gold was vulnerable, he would ask him something more personal.
Why are you always angry? Gold actually looked surprised at this.
I'm not always angry. I just have a very short and violent temper.
Which means angry.
But somehow today, after venting it out with Red, I feel much calmer, and I don't feel as if I need to get angry over small things. Hulk smash. I guess if I hadn't done that, I'd be getting pretty pissed at you for having such a useless conversation with me. Hulk smash. Silver had to give Green points. He seemed to be able to read what was wrong with his patients and give them therapy that suited them accordingly. He was lucky Red was just willing to return the favor. Oh, you are. Ooh, British.
Red was willing.
Oh, whoops.
Probably meant as willing, just as willing to.
Gold looked him over silently, his golden eyes analyzing. Why do you want to die so much? Is it like a kink you have or something? If Silver was a romantic sort of person, he would have said the mood would have been killed. He froze up of all the questions.
That's my problem. Gold crossed his arms and stared hard at him.
This is why you're weird. Next you're going to tell me you cut yourself to make you feel alive.
I am not. I just have issues you would never understand. The cutting thing, however, yeah, I do. Silver ground out, wishing he had cut their talk short and hadn't asked Gold something so personal, lest Gold ask him back. He knew this would happen. Gold wasn't leaving until he got an answer, though.
You are nuts. You are nuts who slashes themselves up for fun? But just try me, Ginger. Try me. I know what it's like to lose something. It fucking hurts. It fucking hurts more than anything else. Even though he wasn't shouting, Gold sounded hurt and slightly angered at Silver's insult to his emotions.
Oh my god, you wouldn't understand.
The anger-prone teen continued, his voice strained to a pained whisper. I lost my 2 brothers and my parents in that fire. I lost my whole life to that incident. I have nothing left to show. I had a family. So don't you dare tell me I do not understand your fucking issues. Silver shook his head.
You might understand that part, but you don't understand the rest.
I would if you would tell me.
You don't know me, Silver said simply. Gold was barely concealing his anger.
Can you smell the angst in the air?
You don't know me.
I would if you told me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Silver said, you don't know me, Silver said simply.
Yeah.
Gold was barely concealing his anger. He was upset. Silver knew that much. What?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. Talking about his deceased family was something Gold hated, and it hurt him. Gold looked at him with disgust, his hands clenched and his golden eyes glittering with several emotions out of which anger, sadness, and passion were the strongest.
This is why I hate people like you. You feel like you've lost everything and finally want to cast your own life away because you feel like there's nothing to gain from it. You know what? I thought about it myself after that fire, but I was too much of a coward to actually try. You're a brave person, Silver, to have attempted and failed so many times. But haven't you even thought about maybe some higher power is preventing you from actually achieving it? Gold's turning he's speaking true, kind of, but now he's turning into this existential, this is an existential crisis. Maybe someone actually wants you in this world. I know you are a brave person, so be brave and shut the fuck up about your problems and just face life with the same guts and live a little.
That's actually, it's a bit rough, but it's decent advice.
It's dang, Gold.
Be brave and shut the fuck up.
Silver was speechless. Gold shivered slightly.
Why is he shivering?
Silver knew he was being an asshole, but he said it anyways.
I don't believe in a higher power. Gold flinched as if Red had punched him again.
You are unbelievable! Gold hissed, his eyes blazing slits of fury. Silver was surprised and shaken to see Gold was crying. Why? Why was this person crying for him?
For him?
Gold did not attempt to stem the flow. Haven't you ever thought about the people who care about you? I know where this is going and I'm not ready. Silver shook his head.
Oh god, I see that. Okay, no one did. No one will. Gold let out a strangled cry and stared up at the ceiling, breathing heavily. His hands curling and uncurling as he attempted to control his urge to break things. Silver watched his heart hammering, racing as he was filled with different emotions. Green
does! Those people at the hospital do! Gold stopped, horrified. Silver pushed it.
You do? Gold glowered at him, his eagle eyes flashing dangerously.
I thought you were someone who could change for the better, but now I can see that Green is working with a lost cause.
Gold so optimistic? I thought you could change for the better.
Oh my god, this is making me think of the Wicked song. I don't know the exact words.
I knew you. Because I knew you. Because
oh my god.
I knew you.
I have been changed. Don't sue us, please.
And then it goes into Defying Gravity.
Don't sue us, please.
It was me for 10 seconds. I know. It's less.
Gold jerked his head at the wall, in the direction of the bathroom next door. I'm sure there are plenty of things in there to aid your death wish. With that, Gold pushed past the redhead and walked out of the room, shutting the door with a little more force than necessary, leaving Silver to stew in his thoughts, heart beating rapidly as he sorted out his emotions of what just had occurred.
Left, I guess.
Gold was not a bad person. He was just hurt and angry for his losses and wanted nothing more than to help others as well as himself. He just didn't know how to for the immense fear of losing them. Silver realized he had just seen a shred of what the original Gold used to be. A loving, passionate, burning, intense, and joyful presence.
Joyful?
Silver crouched down and felt around the razor he always kept on hand, shocked. What had he done? Silver sighed with relief as he felt the cool, sweet sting of the sharp, keen blade slicing his skin open. He examined the cut. Cutting had always
Where
been
is
his
he
escape.
keeping this razor?
In his pocket, I guess.
I guess.
He had started after he couldn't take his father's beatings any longer. Holy shit. The additional blood and pain canceled out the dull aches his father inflicted upon him. The self-harm allowed him to control the pain. Silver dropped the slippery, red-stained blade and stared down at the several jerky cuts he had made in his wrist that trickled scarlet crimson parodies of veins along his skin. What had he done?
Green was surprised when he entered the living room to see Red still watching his Pokemon. Red was still there the whole time.
Yeah.
And Gold storming into the kitchen to pour himself a glass of water. Silver was nowhere to be seen. Gold! Whatever is the matter? Green was startled as Gold slammed the glass down onto the counter hard. Gold looked as if he had been crying. However, he snorted bitterly.
I will be fine. I'm just sorting out some of my minor issues concerning my roommate.
That's more Gale, stop it.
Sorry.
Have you been crying? Gold looked at Green. Green just looked back.
No.
Liar! Green said softly and held out his arms. Gold took a step back and Green sighed. Hugs are not meant to be declined, Gold. Gold did not meet his gaze.
You are not my mother.
I know I'm not, and I know I can never fill that void left in your heart. But I can help you heal it if you let me.
Oh my god.
And be your mother? Gold stepped into a psychologist's embrace. A deep shudder ran through his powerful body, and Green gently patted him on the back, stroking his hair. The brunette had no idea what had just occurred. But if Gold was in this state, he and Silver must have had another fight. Green had observed Gold today and found he had two sides to him. There was fake Gold, and then there was genuine Gold.
Gold's a Gemini.
Genuine Gold.
But Gold's a Gemini.
But genuine Gold.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. The fake Gold was the angry Gold, the one that hated everything and distrustful. Green had looked further into it and saw that Gold was afraid. But he covered that fear up with anger to drive anyone away from him. The genuine, real Gold was the person who lived up to his name. A pure-hearted person with a generous personality. A heart of gold.
Oh, actually that's kind of cute.
Yeah. Green knew slowly but surely he would break through to the real person Gold was and yank him out of his protective shell.
I refuse to share a room with him, Gold said, voice muffled. Green sighed.
I'm sorry, Gold, but you'll have to.
I don't want to. Just like a stubborn child, Green smiled to himself and released the teen.
Your sandwich was a bit difficult to order, but they finally relented and said they would. However, next time, please choose a sensible combination. This is going to cost me a fortune. It'll arrive in about 20 minutes. Ow.
Your water's up there.
I have a cough drop.
Okay.
Green gave the raven-haired man a stern look, and Gold nodded. Turning away, Green decided it was time to find Silver, who was cutting himself in the bathroom.
Wait, was he in the bathroom? I thought he was just doing it in the bedroom.
I guess. He might not have been in the bathroom. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he went to the bathroom because that's where Gold said to go. I don't know. Did it ever say he left the room? I guess he did.
I don't think he did.
But he wasn't in the room with Red anymore, so he went somewhere. Anyways, Green slowly made his way to the guest room. Okay, it is the room.
Yeah.
Where he knew Silver was hiding in. He had to get those two to come to terms with each other. He couldn't have them at each other's throats all the time. Unless it's giving each other a hickey or something, I don't know.
Giving each other head. Mothers against Roadhead. My name is Green Oak. I'm sorry. I'm going to steal Gale jokes all the time throughout this fic.
He knocked on the door softly and waited until he heard Silver approve for him to come in. Green opened to door slowly and peered in to see the redhead staring blankly at the wall. Oh. Silver looked at Green. He sounded disappointed. Green shut the door and came over and sat down next to him. Silver looked upset, but the psychologist could tell he was trying his very best to hide it. I talked to Gold. What happened, Silver? Silver shrugged. It was a careless movement, and Green found that he didn't like that action on Silver. It just didn't suit him. It was such a defeated, pathetic, and sad action.
Ouch! Green is harsh.
Green reached out hesitantly and brushed his fingertips through Silver's hair. True to his prediction, Silver shied away instantly. His arm that was in cast moved to gently touch his other arm, as if he was hiding something there. Green decided this time he wouldn't pry. You should pry.
Yeah.
You have beautiful hair.
Is my daughter or Howard Stern?
Green commented. Silver gave him a weird look. That is such a retarded comment.
Silver's being problematic.
Problematic. Green shrugged. So what? Why did that matter? It's true, though. You have lovely hair. It makes me wonder, why do you, who dislikes so much and only wants to be in a permanent state of pain and hurt, care so much about something so insignificant?
Wow. Ignificant.
Insignificant, such as hair. Silver grunted and did not reply. Green pressed on, wanting to resolve this animosity between the two new patients. But before he could ask his next question, Silver started to talk. I talked to Gold, and I upset him. But then he asked me a personal question which I couldn't answer, and if I did, he wouldn't understand, which as a result upset him more. Green knew this was prime time to observe. He hated using that term, as if his patients were animals, but it was important. What were you feeling at the time, Silver, when you realized you upset him? Silver bit his lip and thought. I was scared.
That's code for horny.
Why? Why? I don't know. Green nodded.
I'm sorry.
He would come back to that later. He stroked his fingers again through the long, dark, foxy red hair.
Ew.
Silver this time did not resist. Instead, he closed his eyes and enjoyed the feeling of the gentle touch. I can't close my eyes because I need to read. What did he ask you? It's okay if you don't want to tell me. Silver paused on the verge of saying no, and Green knew it, but then Silver steeled his nerves and said it anyway.
Oh.
He asked me why I wanted to die so much.
Oh.
And why do you? Green's voice was quiet but firm.
It's just kind of cute. This is a moment.
They're having a moment.
I know.
You're
having a moment with
OT4.
yourself.
Quiet but firm. I don't know anymore. I wanted to die because it would give the world one less pathetic human to care about. Wow. But then Gold told me that what I was doing was selfish. And that I've never thought about the people who actually care and want me. Green smiled, elated. This was promising. This was amazing. He let out a quiet laugh. Silver jerked away from him, looking slightly betrayed. Green sobered and grinned at the redhead, ruffling his slicky hair. Well done, Silver. I'm proud of you. Now I want you to go find Gold and apologize to him, and hopefully after that, dinner should arrive. Exclamation mark.
Yeah.
Green stretched and stood up, stretching. The boxy bed creaking slightly with the movement. Silver bowed his head. But I don't think he wants anything to do with me.
Oh, God, this is so angsty.
Nonsense! He was very upset after he stormed out of your room. Just go and find him, okay? Make up, you two. I need to go drag Red away from the television. Once that show starts, he will not stop until I pull him away.
Make out, you two. Hey, that's what's really going to happen. That's my prediction.
Probably. Silver sighed, thinking about the extra razors in the bathroom. He needed some time alone. The cuts he made earlier had been pathetic. Oh, God.
Silver found Gold out on the balcony playing with a Rubik's Cube. What?
Rubik's Cube.
A rubric.
It doesn't say that.
I know. Turning the puzzle this way and that to try and find matching color
Silver's
sequences.
Take it and solve it right away or
His
something,
facial expression was one of intense concentration that he didn't hear Silver come to stand next to him. However, when he did notice, he jumped slightly and his voice was cold. Silver shivered at the frigid tone. He pulled down his sleeve slightly to hide...
Oh,
grammar
so
here.
he didn't cut himself more, he bandaged him, because, like, cutting myself was pathetic.
To hide his newly bandaged wrist. Okay, I got it. What do you want?
I'm sorry.
You honestly expect me to accept your apology? Gold snapped, setting down the cube on the ledge.
Sorry, this is like...
There's a page break. What?
There was, like, a thing of water or
Oh, okay.
spit?
Probably me. I probably spit.
Yeah.
Gold snapped, setting down the cube on the ledge of the
Is he gonna
banister
knock it
surrounding
off?
the balcony. The air was cool and there was a slight breeze. Viridian City looked gorgeous at night, especially on a clear one with all the minute lights glittering prettily. The moon was... That's a very descriptive word. Prettily. The moon was a new silver...
Sliver.
Sliver of a crescent in the sky. However, Gold had noticed Silver's arm beforehand, and without missing a beat, snatched Silver's slashed-up arm. Looking critically at the blood slowly soaking through the bandages, Gold dropped Silver's arm in disgust. You seriously expect me to accept your apology after I've seen this?
Yes, I do. I didn't cut deeply if you're that worried. Silver retorted sharply. Gold sized him up, one arm resting on the ledge, supporting his body weight as he reclined slightly. His amber eyes were locked onto him, and focused. And Silver felt himself going a little red under such intense scrutiny. But there was a reason as to why he hated getting any sort of attention. It made him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh. Bullshit, as if I cared about that. I can't accept your apology. Hopefully you can convince me otherwise.
I can't accept it. Hopefully you can convince me.
Gold gestured to Silver's blood-stained arm and picked up his puzzle and started fiddling with it again. Silver stayed put. Gold looked up and said snidely, "Oh, you're still here? Make sure Green doesn't find out about your little secret."
How can I convince you? Gold looked at Silver thoughtfully before leaning in to whisper in Silver's ear hotly, his breath teasing
That
him.
makes me think of... That automatically made me think of the descriptions in My Immortal. He whispered in his ear hotly. I know they're talking about temperature, but it just made me think of, like, she moaned
whimpered.
sadly. Yeah, right? Okay, sorry.
I am a vampire, she confessed. Really? He giggled. Yes! She roared.
I love My Immortal. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hotly, his breath teasing him, causing him to shiver involuntarily, whilst simultaneously pushing the Rubik's Cube into the pale teen's unbroken hand.
Try harder. Pulling away, Gold smirked, and Silver found the dangerous look in...
look dangerous.
The look dangerous, and dare he say, attractive.
Whew.
Silver, speechless, watched as Gold left him on the balcony holding the unfinished puzzle. Silver looked down at the cube thoughtfully. He could do that.
So, Silver's Rubik's Cube, not forgetting.
I swear no one has that hair color and that length, Gold complained as he opened his sandwich with much enthusiasm. Green looked at him sternly.
Gold, calling the sandwich boy a grass-headed toothpick wasn't very nice. Oh, it's that one. That one, dude.
That is such a good insult.
A grass-headed toothpick.
I need a fucking minute.
I mean, if someone has green hair.
It's Wally, isn't it?
Otherwise, it's that one dude from, like, the Cylon guy who cooks with his restaurant with his brothers.
Probably him.
Who are all, like, really strange people.
I'm sorry, okay.
Because they do have food at their one restaurant thing.
I know.
They're connoisseurs of it. Gold took a massive bite of his sandwich and chewed round it as he spoke, spraying crumbs so that Red grunted and moved away slightly as he was opposite from the teenager. Green made a small sound as Gold, still chewing, said,
"But he totally was." As me trying to tell him I'm chewing
Voldemort.
Yeah. But he totally was. You couldn't deny he was a skinny bean with tall grass for hair. I agree, Red muttered into his own sandwich, and Green turned to him horrified. Silver cursed. Eating a sandwich with one hand was fucking difficult.
Oh, it's N, I guess?
I
expected better from you, Red! N is a nice boy. He was just a little bit shy, and calling him names won't help his condition. Condition? Silver grinned silently into his own food. N was amusing, even to him. The sandwich boy had this strange grass-green hair that was pulled into a lengthy ponytail. He was shy and had a slight stutter. Green smacked Gold's hand. Don't talk with your mouth full. Gosh, you're such a pig.
Just keep going.
Dinner was over after Green had scolded Gold for his terrible eating habits, to which Gold had nodded, obviously not even listening, as he finished his sandwich. Not amused, Green had them all currently sat round the coffee table, each with a sheet of paper and a pen in front of them. Okay. I want a quick personal session with every evening, okay? Think of this a picture diary, everyone.
Okay.
I guess. Green had a shrewd feeling that this wasn't going to be very successful as a first attempt, but hopefully, as the days went by, the drawings would hopefully be an accurate representation of their subconsciousness. Green had given them 5 minutes to draw everything on their minds. He looked down at his watch. Only a minute to go. From what he could see, Red was doodling Pikachu of various sizes and shapes, whereas Gold was being downright inappropriate. Time's up. Green collected in the 3 sheets and looked at them with a sigh. It appears, Red, that you like Pikachu. Red nodded, clicking his pen happily. Silver still swore those pens should go to hell. In parentheses. But upon looking further, Green saw the pressure Red had applied wasn't very hard, which showed he was still quite unsure of himself and who he was, as well as his own strength. Okay.
Oh.
Psychobabble. Silver had drawn various pointed-looking objects, easily portraying his wish. However disturbing, the pen strokes were defined and sharp. Silver knew what he wanted, but there was an uncertainty in how each object was drawn, as if it was against his will. It meant Silver was experiencing conflicting thoughts. Gold had drawn various sexual organs all over his page. Wrinkling his nose, Green could clearly see the bold pen strokes and how Gold had carelessly blotted the paper as he was thinking. Amidst the rude drawings, every so often there was a scribble or a scrawl of some kind. Gold was very certain as to who he was himself. But because the drawings didn't reflect anything about him, it still meant that the aggressive teen was still distrustful and unwilling to open up and speak openly about himself. Green told his patients what he thought. Interesting. It might be... I wonder if it's actually true things.
It might be. I don't know.
This person might have done research. Yay. Or maybe they're like a psychology student. I don't know.
That is true.
Psychologist. I don't know. He then gave out a new set of paper to the three and told them to do it properly this time. Draw anything that they felt related to them, or how they felt, or anything that came to mind. He gave them this time 10 minutes. While they were doing this, Green gathered up the scrunched-up sandwich papers and threw them away before wiping down the table. Upon receiving the new drawings, Green decided that they had outdone themselves. Red had drawn Green, flushing slightly and hiding the drawing from both Silver and Gold's prying eyes, knowing the two would never let him live it down. The drawing this time was carefully drawn, a decent portrait of himself, and the strokes were produced with care and deliberation. Obviously Red cared for him. Green quickly put aside that one sheet. It also meant Red was thinking of him. How unprofessional and embarrassing. Moving on to Gold's, the stocky male had been more sincere this time round, and drawn a few dogs running, some swirls, and strangely enough, a heart. It was a lopsided one, and wasn't symmetrical, yet it was still a heart.
That's what lopsided means.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was repetitive.
Yeah, it is. The dogs represented how Gold wanted to be free from his worries, and the swirls started from the outwards in. Green believed this symbolized how Gold was an outgoing person before that incident and withdrawing after. The heart... Green looked at the amber-eyed teen. Why a heart, Gold? Gold shrugged.
Don't know. Seemed like something genuine. You want me to change, so I guess putting down a heart would say, I'm going to try. There's a tone of deliberation in Gold's voice as he said that, and Green noticed Gold when he said that he was going to try, he had been looking pointedly across at Silver, who had quickly looked down at his hands.
You can change for the better.
Because I knew you. Sorry, okay.
That's fine.
Green didn't know. I'm saying I'm sorry so we don't get sued.
Yeah.
We don't know that. I just want you to know.
We know that.
Green didn't know if he had missed the memo or something, but he knew those two had something going on that he didn't know about. Well, Nancy Drew, it's time to get your magnifying glass and figure it out. But if it meant they would cooperate with each other, he wasn't going to complain. Green put down Gold's drawings and looked at Silver's paper. He smiled down at the bold black question mark in the middle of the page. Silver knew what he wanted now, but he didn't know what that something was.
It doesn't make any sense. Okay. Silver, why'd you draw a big question mark? Silver shook his head. You don't know? Silver shook his head again, and Green set the paper aside and tilted his head in question. It's because I don't know what to think. Silver looked torn. What are you thinking now, Silver? Green knew both Red and Gold wanted to hear this answer as much he did, and the psychologist hoped Silver would pull through and respond. I'm thinking that I'm going to try. Silver said with a small smile as he held out to Gold's astonishment the completed Rubik's Cube.
Oh my god.
Oh. That's adorable.
We're finally getting to the kind of romance, and it's cute. Okay. Gold and Silver stared at the tiny boxy bed. There was a page break, by the way.
Yeah, page break, so we're going to swap.
Yeah.
guess.
at the tiny boxy bed and then at each other. Silver knew he had a blank deadpan on his own face, and Gold was mirroring it with a hint of amused disgust mixed in with it.
Me. We aren't going to fit in that together, Silver stated bluntly, worried for his broken arm. Gold snorted, arms crossed as he stood in his boxers. Silver was wearing a pair of sleep shorts and a long-sleeved shirt. He was rather self-conscious, and he was trying very hard not to look at his roommate's body. Gold had a very nice body.
As if I want to sleep with you, Gold chuckled as Silver sent him a glare.
Ditto to you, too. Red padded into their room in a pair of red boxers, his hair slightly messy from his shower. Yanking them both by their arms, he pulled them into the bed with him. His face expressionless as ever, Red regarded them both carefully.
Sleep, he said simply before reaching over and turning out the light. Silver lay in the darkness, unable to decipher what he exactly thought of this. Red was taking up the majority of the middle, and he was squished up to the wall whilst Gold was awkwardly perched on the edge. He heard Gold growl in annoyance before shifting until Red moved over. Then all was silent. Figuring he had no other choice but to sleep in this difficult situation, Silver closed his eyes, hoping his broken arm would hold out. When the morning came, Silver woke to find he was hanging halfway off the bed.
By the wall.
He groaned at the ache in his back and wondered when he moved into this position. He then noticed the brunette explosion of hair, which he recognized as Green's. When the hell did Green join them? He struggled to get up and realized two things. One, he was stuck. Two, he would crush Gold with his butt in the process. Sighing, he flopped down and decided to wait for everyone else to wake up. The minutes ticked by until Gold stirred. What the fuck? Silver closed his eyes as he was jolted unceremoniously to the floor as Gold shoved him away. He slowly picked himself up, rubbing his sore shoulder, glad his arm had survived the fall. Dude, your ass was in my face. God damn it, Silver. Gold swore that waking up to find a backside in your face was far more interesting than he would have liked to imagine.
What?
It beat Red staring him down upon waking, though. Green stirred groggily, as did Red. The tawny-eyed teen realized Green was snuggled up into the scarlet-eyed man's side. He smirked in amusement. However,
Finally?
the knowledge of finding all of them in his bed, Gold regarded his bedmates in shock. Seriously, guys? Silver pushed his tangled hair out of his face.
You shoved me out. It's my bed, too. Gold looked at Red and Green. Green jolted up as if electrocuted with a squeak and skittered away from Red as far as he could, his cheeks flaming as red as Silver's hair. And Red's eyes, maybe? I don't know. Doesn't say that.
Probably,
Gold
though.
grinned at them both.
Is there something you need to tell me? Green, mortified, stuttered out.
No! I got lonely, so I joined you all and... Oh, shut up, Gold! Green hissed, his hair in disarray, as he left the room in a huff. Red turned to look at Gold.
Why'd you make him leave? Red questioned, eyes wide, his voice small, with a slight tremor, as if Gold had just drowned his puppy in front of him. Gold climbed out of the bed and walked off to the bathroom and called over his shoulder. I couldn't handle all the homosexual vibes so early in the morning. And that's chapter 4. So now we're getting to the gay. This book's finally getting there.
That slow burn is turning into a pretty quick.
This is actually a pretty good chapter. I really enjoyed reading through this one.
It was less over the top emo.
It was actually kind of like believable emo.
Yeah, it was more realistic instead of like, oh my god, the world hates me. Some people do probably feel like that, but reading it out loud just sounds kind of weird.
True. I particularly like, I don't know, I just like how they're coming together as characters.
Yeah.
It feels nice. They've known each other for one day, and yet they all slept in the same bed. That was an interesting thing.
Sharing a bed with 4 people, I'm not
It's
sure
like a
how that
twin
works.
mattress, too.
I've shared a bed with like 2 people before. Yeah, this bed right here.
We've shared this bed.
It's a pretty large bed.
We shared this bed with 3 people and a body pillow.
And a body pillow. So it's technically 4, maybe. But this is like a queen-sized bed.
Yeah, and they're talking about like a twin.
Yeah.
4 people were in a
4
twin.
people on a twin bed.
So that was wild. That was the bed we used to record on in my house. Throwback.
Next week we'll probably do something else.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna pop into maybe just a quick one-off fic, just to kind of like give you guys something new instead of Clockwork.
We'll do like 2 chapters of Clockwork and something else. Maybe?
Really, I feel like we
maybe
should do 3 to 4 because this is a really long fic.
Yeah, I guess we can add some more because recently we've been doing like 2 chapters and then we did a break. We did like the 1 chapter, then our Christmas special, and then these 2 chapters.
Yeah, right. Well, this would be the 3rd, and I feel like this needs to be done. Oh, look, I'm just looking ahead. Chapter 5, also really long.
It's less long.
I know. I was really hoping, so here's some behind the scenes for y'all. I was really hoping to be able to do more than 1 chapter at a time, but I don't want to make these episodes over an hour long.
I mean, we could.
We could, but the problem is, at that point, how many people are going to want to watch it?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep us within like 45 minutes tops. I know sometimes we go over like the first chapter. This was 50.
And anyways, this one probably is.
This is all logistical stuff that doesn't matter. It's just behind the scenes me cutting the show. So this fic could potentially take us 57 to 59. I forgot how many chapters are in it. Weeks to finish. So that's fun.
So it'll be like a year and a half.
Probably. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Give the video a like if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because we have awesome new content coming out every week. Leave a comment down below, like a fic suggestion perhaps, because we will get around to reading it. We'll probably read it in between this one.
Maybe one-shots.
One-shots, another long fic we
Weird
can just intersperse.
Smut, either.
Yeah, I mean...
Whatever.
Fanfiction.
Stupid, sappy things, crack fix. I don't know.
Send us fanfiction and we will read it with no questions, because this is our show. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.
Yep.
Join us next week when we do something else. The week after that, we will be returning to Clockwork, just so you know.
And then
but
for
yeah,
a couple weeks after that.
Yes. Yeah. But yes, stay awesome, read more smut, and we'll see you around. Bye.
Bye.
Yay.